Hi guys, welcome back. Thank you for tuning in to Flow with me again. Today is going to be all about heart openers, so we will be expanding and finding space in the chest, in the heart, in the shoulders, and we'll be really energizing and strengthening our back body at the same time. So with that being said, please make your way to a child's pose position. So bring the big toe mounds together, let the knees come out nice and wide. The wider your knees are, the deeper the stretch will be on the hips. So just being aware of that. If you are very tight in this area, then just bring the knees slightly closer together. That's absolutely fine. Pad the hands forwards, let the chest melt down towards the earth. Bring the forehead all the way down to the mat, just adding a bit of pressure onto our third eye, tuning into our intuition and immediately starting to listen and observe the breath. Straight away, trying to find an equal length to each inhale and exhale. And I'd like you to think about bringing a bit of energy, a bit of expansion with that breath. So we will be using this connection with our inhales and exhales to move mindfully through our practice today. Our intention for today's class is going to be compassion. So moving around our mat with kindness, shying away from judgment, from expectation, allowing yourselves to be completely present. Taking a last full breath here. And on your next inhale, bringing that right hand down next to your side. And from here, sweeping that left arm all the way over, coming into a side stretch. Feeling that expansion into the left rib cage. As you exhale, start to sweep that left arm forwards as far as you can reach, picking up the right hand, placing the left hand down by your side and reaching over into that side stretch once again. Exhale to sweep both arms all the way around, releasing the right hand down next to your side, bringing the left arm up and overhead. Breathing deep into that left rib cage, feeling that space. Exhale to sweep the arms around. Coming over to the left hand side this time, making sure you're not collapsing into the side body. Find that space in the right rib cage. Last time, exhale, reaching the arms forwards, keep the hips down. And then this time, if you'd like to engage through the glutes, send the hips forwards, opening up a little bit more into the chest, into the hip flexor. And exhale to sink the hips back down towards the heels, reaching through the arms once again. Place the left hand down and then open up into your version of your side bend. You don't have to lift the hips, just listen to the body. And exhaling to sweep the arms back to center, pausing in your child's pose for one more breath. And then using an inhale to ground down through the hands, bring the knees slightly closer together. From here, making sure that those hips are stacked over the knees, start to walk the hands forwards, letting the chest melt down towards the ground. Keep grounding down through both palms. Keep the lower ribs drawn in, really pushing down through the arms. Let that chest, let that heart sink. Either bringing the chin or the forehead down to the earth. If this is a little bit much for you, you can shuffle the hands back and stay up on your forearms a little bit more. Breathing deeply here. Keep the core engaged. We're trying to isolate this stretch into the shoulders. On your next inhale, start to rise through that chest, push through the palms, pad the hands back underneath the shoulders. From here, tuck those toes under. On your next inhale, release the belly down to the ground, shine the tailbone up, draw that chest in between the arms, and lift the gaze coming into our cow pose. As you exhale, round through the spine, push through the palms. Once you come into your cat, start to lift the knees up, shifting the hips back, coming into our downward facing dog. You can keep the knees bent here, nice and soft. Inhale to release the knees back down to the ground, letting the belly open, shining that heart forwards, lifting the gaze. Exhaling to come into your cat, keeping the movement going, lifting the knees, sending those hips back into our downward facing dog. Last one like this, inhaling to ripple through the spine, releasing the knees back down to the ground, continue the movement, shine the tailbone up towards the sky, lower the belly, draw that chest in between the heart, keep hugging those shoulder blades together, lifting the gaze. Exhale to round through the spine, drawing that navel in, pushing through the palms, lift the knees, and then send those hips up, pausing here in our downward facing dog. Keeping a nice softness through the knees here if you need to, perhaps pedaling out through the feet. Maybe dropping the hips from side to side, just opening up through the side body, whatever you need to do at this moment in time. Making sure that you've still got that connection with the breath. On your next inhale, lifting that right leg up to the sky, three-legged dog. On your exhale, draw that knee to nose, rounding through the spine. Keep grounding down through both hands. Inhale to re-establish that length, sending the right toes back to the back of the room. Exhaling, rounding through the spine, knee to nose. Inhaling, last time, extend that right leg out long, three-legged dog. Exhaling, last time, knee to nose, hugging it into the chest. Look in between the hands, and then with as much control as possible, placing that right foot down. Just take a moment, let the hips gravitate down towards the ground, and then release that left knee all the way down to the earth. On your next inhale, pushing down through that right foot, squeeze the inner thighs together, reaching the arms up to the sky. Keep the hips lifted here, find that elevation, that energy in the pelvis. On your next exhale, bending through the elbows, keep opening up through the chest as you squeeze the shoulder blades together, cactusing the arms. Inhaling to reach. Two more like this as you exhale, opening through the elbows, cactusing the arms. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Inhale to reach. Last one like this, exhaling to open through that heart. Find that expansion. Inhaling to reach, beautiful. From here as you exhale, release the arms down behind your back, interlacing the fingers as you inhale. Draw that fist down towards the back of that left thigh. Keep the chest open. Keep pushing through that right foot. Keep the integrity through the hips. One more breath here. And exhaling to release the bind, bringing the hands just out in front of that right foot. Lifting that back knee. From here, start to bring the weight into that right foot. Draw your knee to nose, rounding through the spine. On your next inhale, grounding down through that right foot as you start to rise, carrying that left knee with you, reaching the arms up to the sky. Exhale to release the arms back down by your side, letting the left foot float down next to the right. Take a moment to re-establish that connection through all four corners of the feet, finding your strong foundation, drawing that energy up from the earth. Bringing both feet together here. On your next inhale, reach the arms up to the sky. On your exhale, bring the hands down through heart center, hinge at the hips, bending through your knees. Inhaling to find your halfway lift, straightening through the spine, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Exhale to forward fold. This time, find your halfway lift, but keep your knees nice and bent. So rising through that torso, squeeze the inner thighs together, squeeze the shoulder blades together. From here, reaching behind the sacrum, once again, interlace the hands. On your inhale, start to draw the fist down. Use that to elevate through the heart, really opening through the chest, coming into a slightly funky version of our Utkatasana. So thinking cow pose here once again as you open through the heart, tailbone is shining backwards. Either staying here or perhaps coming up onto your tippy toes, challenging the balance. Really making our mind stay present here. One more breath. And exhaling to release the heels back down, straightening through your legs, hinging at the hips, and releasing the fist all the way up and over. You can keep a softness through the knees here, that's absolutely fine. On your next exhale, release the hands, bring them all the way down to the mat in front of you. Inhaling to find your halfway lift, straightening through the spine. Exhale to forward fold, planting the hands down and stepping the feet back into your high plank. On your next exhale, release the knees down to the earth, hug those elbows into the side body, and in one straight line, lowering all the way down to the ground. Beautiful. From here, extend the arms out long in front of you, palms facing each other. On your next inhale, lifting the arms and the chest up from the mat. As you exhale, turn the palms so that they're facing down towards the earth, and then start to draw the elbows back, thinking about making as much distance between each elbow instead of drawing them back to the waistline. Inhale to reach forwards, keep the glutes engaged, core engaged. 2 more like this. Exhale to bend through the elbows, imagining that you're swimming a little bit like breaststroke. Inhale to reach. Last one. Exhale to open, bending through the elbows. Squeeze those shoulder blades together, lift the chest. And exhale to release, extending them out long. Letting the forehead come all the way down to the ground, make a little pillow with the hands. Let the hips rock from side to side, just releasing the lower back. And then bringing the hands underneath the shoulders, tucking those toes in, using your knees to guide you back into our downward facing dog. Reconnect with the breath here if you lost it, perhaps holding your breath a little bit whilst on the belly. On your next inhale, lifting that left leg up to the sky, 3-legged dog. On your exhale, drawing knee to nose, rounding through the spine, pushing through the palms. Inhale to extend. 2 more like this. Exhaling, drawing knee to nose, really puff up through the shoulders. Inhale to extend. Last one. Exhale, drawing knee to nose, hug it in, pausing here. Looking down in between the palms and then step that left foot up in between the hands. Take a moment, let those hips really start to gravitate down towards the ground. Release the right knee down this time. On your next inhale, squeeze those inner thighs together, ground down through the left foot, reach the arms up to the sky. Keeping that lift through the hips here, try not to sink too deep. Channeling the energy all the way up from the pelvis, up the spine, through the tips of the fingers. On your next exhale, opening the elbows once again, squeezing the shoulder blades together, lifting through the sternum. Inhale to reach. 2 more like this. Exhaling to cactus the arms. Inhale to reach. Last one. Really nice, guys. Exhaling to open. Inhale to reach. From here, releasing the hands behind your sit bones once again. This time, interlace the fingers with the opposite thumb on top. Inhale to open up through the heart, really drawing the fist down towards the back of the right thigh this time. Keep pushing through the left foot, lifting through the sternum. And exhale to release the bind of the hands, bringing the hands just out in front of that left foot, lifting that right knee. Use an exhale to bring that weight into the left knee, drawing right knee to nose, rounding through the spine. On your inhale, spike through that right foot, that left foot even, drawing that right knee all the way up, embrace those wobbles, reaching the arms up above the head. And exhaling to let that right foot float all the way back to the ground with as much control as you can. Take a moment just to set up here, bringing those feet to touch once again. Finding that gentle scoop of the tailbone, let the shoulders be soft. On your next inhale, reaching up to the sky, following with the gaze. Exhale to bring the hands down through heart center, hinging at the hips, softening through your knees. On your next inhale, finding that halfway lift, straightening through the spine once again. Exhaling to forward fold. We're going exactly what we did the last time. So this time softening through the knees, keeping that softness. Interlacing the hands behind the back. Again, opposite thumb on top. So for most people that would be left thumb on top. Use your inhale to draw the fist down over the sacrum and using that energy to lift through the heart, opening through the chest. Again, either pausing here, thinking cow with the back, or perhaps challenging the balance, keep zipping up through those inner thighs, coming onto the tiptoes. Drawing that fist as far away from the sacrum as you can will deepen the stretch, also introducing those triceps. One more breath here. And exhale to gently release the heels down to the ground and start to send the fist all the way over your head, coming into that forward fold once again. Weight is in the balls of the feet here. On your next exhale, releasing the hands down to the ground. Inhale to find your halfway lift once again. Exhale to forward fold, stepping both feet back into our high plank once again. Pausing here this time. On your next exhale, let the heels drop down to the right hand side as you start to reach that left arm all the way up to the sky, coming into a version of our side plank. Modification is to lower that right knee, offering a bit of support. Exhale to release that left hand back down to the ground, coming back through your high plank. Keep scooping that tailbone under, engaging through the glutes. This time as you exhale, let the heels drop to the left hand side. Inhale, reaching that right arm all the way up. Keep sending the hips up towards the sky. And exhale to release the right arm back down to the ground. Either lowering the knees or as you inhale, shift the weight forwards. Exhale to hug the elbows in, lowering all the way down in one straight line. Beautiful. This time reaching the arms behind us, placing them down by our side, palms facing down. Release the forehead down to the ground. We'll start with just the legs. So the legs will be about hip width apart, but that will vary depending on your alignment and your anatomy. So really lift up both legs, reach them back, try and find that length. Scoot the tailbone under, so engage through the glutes. You'll find a little lift in between your belly button and the floor. That just goes to show that you are engaging through your core. And then on your next inhale, keeping everything engaged, start to lift both legs up off the mat. Keep the core engaged to protect that lower back. Squeeze those glutes. Exhaling to lower. One more like this as you inhale, lifting those feet up off the mat. Keep pushing down through the hands. And exhaling to lower. Last one, this time lifting those legs up. Establishing yourself here and then start to peel the chest up off the mat, reaching the fingertips to the back of the mat. Pausing here for one more breath. Keep the shoulders drawn down away from the ears. Make everything work on that back body. And exhaling to release. Really nice. Pause here. Just let one cheek come down to the mat. And then when you're ready, bringing both hands underneath your shoulders, tucking the toes under, either using the knees or seeing if you can send everything back into your high plank. Nice line of energy. And then drawing the hips all the way up into our downward facing dog. Taking a breath here. On your next inhale, looking to the front of the mat and stepping, hopping, floating all the way up and in between the hands. Inhaling to find your halfway lift, straightening through the spine. Exhale to forward fold. Inhale to ground down through both feet, charging through those glutes. Sweep the arms all the way up to the sky. And exhale to bring the hands down through heart center, letting them come down by your side. Again, bringing those big toe mounds to touch, so bringing the feet together if they're not there already. On your next inhale, take a nice bend through the knees, sink the hips down towards the ground, reach the arms up to the sky. Coming into our Utkatasana or chair pose here. So take a moment, you can even bring your hands down to your hips to just find that neutral pelvis. So we don't want to be too arched forwards just yet, sticking the butt out. We equally don't want to be rounding and scooping the tailbone under too much in our chair. So just find that neutral pelvis, that neutral spine. Weight should be in the heels here. Really zip everything up into the midline. So squeeze those inner thighs together, squeeze the knees together. On your next exhale, open up through the elbows once again, opening through the chest, cactusing the arms, lifting the gaze, think cow pose with the back. Inhale to reach through the arms, scooping that tailbone underneath, drawing that navel in, thinking cat pose. Inhaling to open, cactusing the arms. Exhale to scoop. Beautiful. From here, coming back to find your neutral spine, bringing the hands to heart center. Start to ground down through that left foot, hovering that right foot up off the mat. Feel that left glute, the entire left leg and that left foot start to engage. On your next exhale, start to pivot the chest forwards as you extend that right leg all the way out, trying to lower it down as far at the back of the mat as you can with as much control as you can as well. Reaching the arms up to the sky, coming into our high lunge. Take a little peek down just to check that that left knee is over the left ankle. Keep lifted through that right heel. Engage through your quad. Keep those hips nice and square. On your next exhale, opening through the chest, cactusing the arms once again. This time as you inhale, keep the legs the same, but reach through the arms, placing the palms together, arrow-like. Inhale to draw the palms back, opening back up again into your cactus. Exhale to reach the arms forward, placing the palms together, arrow-like. Inhaling one more time, beautiful, coming back into your cactus. This time, reaching the arms all the way up to the sky. From here, start to tilt the weight forwards, bringing it into that left foot. See if you can step that right foot up to meet the left without kicking off from the right foot. From here, bending through the knees and slowly sinking the hips all the way down to the ground. Keep reaching forwards, bring feet hip width apart and then lower all the way down onto your backs. Moving as slowly as you can, make that core work. And then releasing the arms down by your side, palms facing down. Feet are hip width apart. And really think about that expansion all the way across the top of the chest, the top of the back. Anchor down through the sternum, anchor down through the pelvis. There'll be a there'll be a natural arch in the lower back, ever so slightly. That's just the natural curvature of our spine. Make sure that you've got that length all the way from the pelvis to the crown of the head. So draw your chin into your chest just to make sure that you've got that length all the way along. From here, on your inhale, start to scoop the tailbone under. So we're directing the sit bones down towards the heels. Keeping that navel drawn in, ground down evenly through both feet. And as you exhale, start to lift the hips up off the mat, peeling one vertebra up at a time. Sending those hips up towards the sky, squeeze those glutes. Think about that length along the sternum, all the way down the torso and shining out through the thighs. Taking a nice big inhale here, and as you exhale, start to lengthen through the sternum as you release each vertebra down onto the mat one at a time. Re-establishing that neutral spine when you get to the bottom. And then once again, use that inhale to draw everything in. Start to engage the core, scoop the tailbone under, so tilting the pelvis backwards, grounding down through both feet. Start to engage through the glutes to lift the hips, peeling the vertebra up off the mat one at a time. Pausing here for a breath, squeeze those glutes, keep the core engaged. And exhaling to gently peel the spine back down to the ground. Moving with as much control as you can, really enjoying this process. And then finding your natural spine once again. Pausing here, reconnect with your breath. And then bringing the knees up in towards the chest. Place the hands behind the thighs. We're going to take a few little rocks up and down the spine. You can use the legs to find a bit of momentum. Enjoying this massage. And then eventually gaining enough momentum to come all the way to the feet at the front of the mat once again. You might need to take a few rock and rolls. You might need to use your hands to help you up. That's all absolutely fine. Enjoy it, laugh at yourselves. Don't take it too seriously. And re-establishing ourselves at the front of the mat once again. And then on your next inhale, start to sink through the hips, bending through the knees, reaching the arms up to the sky, coming into our Utkatasana once again. On your next exhale, opening through the heart, cactusing the arms, squeeze the shoulder blades together, arching through the back. Inhale to round through the spine, reaching the arms up, drawing that navel to spine. One more like this, opening through the heart. Inhaling to round, scooping that tailbone underneath. From here, coming back to your neutral spine, bringing the hands to heart center this time. Making sure that the weight is in the heels, and then start to shift the weight to the right foot this time, hovering the left foot up off the mat. Make that right leg turn on, switch on. And then start to tilt the chest forwards, extending that left leg out long behind you. Keep a softness through that right knee as you lower that left foot as far to the back of the mat as you can with as much control. Then stacking the shoulders over the hips, reaching the arms up to the sky, coming back into our high lunge. On your next exhale, opening through the heart once again, cactusing the arms. As you inhale, collecting that energy in between the palms as you reach forward as far as you can. Inhaling to open through the chest once again, re-establishing the cactus arms. Exhale to reach forwards, placing the palms together. Feel that tingle, feel those vibrations. Inhale to draw it all the way back into the heart space, opening through the heart. This time reaching the arms back up to the sky. From here, once again, start to bring the weight forward through the torso, stacking it more into that right foot. See if you can step that left foot all the way to the front of the mat without kicking off, using the left foot for momentum. Really nice, beautiful control. From here, lowering all the way down to the sit bones once again. Really nice. Bringing the feet to hip width apart, keeping the palms facing upwards, keep smiling across the collarbones. If you want to, you can use your hands on your knees or the backs of the thighs, lowering all the way down onto our backs once again. Really nice. So bringing those feet up towards the sit bones once again. It can usually be quite a good reference to just about be able to tickle the heels with your fingertips. And we're going to move through 3 rounds here. So the first 2, we will be doing our bridge pose, so similar to the last time, just taking a slight step further. And then for the last round, there will be the option to take it up into full wheel. Of course, if full wheel is very much featuring in your practice and you would like to take the next 3 rounds or 2 rounds as full wheel, that's absolutely fine. Listen to your body. But if you're with me, then placing the palms of the hands down on the mat once again. Use your inhale to start to engage through the belly, tucking the tailbone under, grounding down through both feet, and start to peel the vertebra up off the mat using your exhale. Squeezing those glutes, either staying here if you would like to. Shuffle the shoulders underneath you, interlace the hands behind the sit bones, and really push through the soles of the feet to start to lift those hips, sending the chest towards your chin. Keep the gaze above you, keep the glutes engaged, keep the core engaged. On your next exhale, releasing the bind, letting the shoulders broaden once again, lengthening through the sternum as you release the spine all the way back down to the mat, moving with control, moving nice and slowly. Re-establish that neutral spine once again, and then use your inhale to engage through the glutes. Really send those sit bones down towards the heels. Hug that tummy button into the spine. Ground down through both feet as you start to lift the hips. Engaging through the glutes as you near the top to really find that extra oomph. And then once again, option to interlace the hands behind the back, shuffling the shoulder blades underneath you, allowing space for expansion. Keep thinking about sending those sit bones down towards the backs of the knees. On your next exhale, unbinding the hands, find that expansion across the top of the back and gently peel your way back down to the ground. Really nice, hopefully starting to feel like those glutes and hamstrings have switched on a little bit. This is so integral for providing support in our lower back, especially when we go into our back bends, as is length across the fronts of the hips. So we're going to take one more round, either doing exactly what we did or what we did the first time. If you would like to come into a full wheel, then bringing the hands by your ears with the fingertips pointing down towards your heels. Exactly as we did going into our bridge. Take an inhale to switch on through the core, send the sit bones down towards the heels. On your next exhale, start to lift the spine up off the mat as you ground down through the hands, and then pushing through the palms, start to lift your chest up, sending it back through the arms. Imagining that you're still trying to squeeze a ball in between your knees and really sending your heart towards the back of the room. Keep the glutes switched on, keep the core engaged. One more breath here. And exhaling to draw your chin to chest, bending through the elbows, releasing the back of the head, the shoulders, and the rest of the spine all the way down to the mat. And just pausing here for 3 full rounds of breath, resisting the urge to draw the knees up into the chest. Just let those sensations in the spine and in the back and in the heart all settle. Let the eyes come down to a close so you can really marinate in everything that is going on within the body. These heart openers and back bends can be really powerful. They can be energizing, they can be euphoric. And no matter where you got to on your back bending journey today, viewing it with compassion, knowing that wherever it was perfect, was more than enough. Knowing that every single part of the journey is what makes the taste at the end taste so sweet. So enjoy that process. Don't be too hard on yourselves. Praise and speak to yourselves exactly the way you would a friend. Be kind and be compassionate. From here, heel toe the feet out to the width of the mat, and then just let the knees drop out to the right hand side. bringing them back through center, and then taking them over to the left-hand side. Just working through this windscreen wiper motion with the legs, moving as slowly as you would like to. Taking one more round on each side. And then drawing the knees back up to center, lifting the feet, hugging the knees up into the chest, wrapping the arms around the shins. Take a little rock from side to side. Just working to release any remaining tension or compression in the lower back especially. And we will round off our practice today with the supine twist. So keeping that right knee hugged in, extend the left leg out long. Take any final movements that feel good and intuitive to you with that right knee, perhaps drawing some circles, perhaps opening up at the hip, a little bit like it's a gate. And then placing that left hand to the outside of the right knee, and use that left hand to guide the knee all the way across to the left hand side of the mat. Working to keep both shoulders nice and grounded here so that we can really isolate this twist into the midsection of our spine. If it feels okay for you, then extending the right arm out long, following it with the gaze. If you don't have much room, you can always cactus that right arm. Again, just close down the eyes here as we start to round down, wind down. On your next inhale, returning the gaze and both knees back to center. And this time keeping the left knee drawn in, extending the right leg out long. Moving through whatever you need to do with that left knee. Releasing any lingering tension that's stored up there. And when it's time for you, placing the right hand to the outside of the left knee and using it to guide that knee all the way across to the right hand side of the mat this time. Enjoying any clicks and crunks through the spine. Extending the left arm out long, following with the gaze, keeping both shoulders grounded to the mat. On your next inhale, drawing the knees, returning the gaze back to center. Hugging the knees up into the chest, giving yourselves one final really deserving squeeze. Bringing the forehead up towards the knees, hugging everything in as tightly as you can, clenching every muscle in your body for one more breath, even the face, and exhaling to extend the legs and the arms out long, releasing the arms down by your sides. Coming to find your Shavasana. Giving yourselves complete permission to totally surrender into your Shavasana. Releasing the breath, working to find perhaps a slightly longer exhale in comparison to the inhale. Encouraging our mental state and our physical state to just drop into this place of calm, serenity. Using this precious time in stillness to tune in, to listen to any conversations going on within the body. Knowing that you are all exactly where you are supposed to be. I invite you to spend as long as you have or can in your Shavasana, really letting the body drop into this place of complete stillness and relaxation. When you are ready to wake back up, start to bring a little bit of awareness back to the physical body by taking some small movements through the fingers and toes, working your way up into the ankles and wrists, and then bringing the arms up and overhead, coming into a nice big stretch, reaching the fingertips and toes as far away from each other as you can, and then rolling over onto your right hand side, taking a soft bend through the knees, using your right bicep as a pillow, and then use that left hand to slowly rise all the way back up to a seat, keeping the eyes closed or the gaze lowered, either crossing your legs or coming to a kneel, whatever serves you best to finish your practice. Really ground down through the sit bones, grow tall through the spine, let those shoulders gravitate down away from the ears. Bringing the hands to heart center, letting the thumbs rest gently on the sternum. And then bowing your heads, thanking yourselves for making it onto your mat once again. And thank you so much for tuning in with this practice and sharing it with me.